What's going on, everybody? Welcome to T-Box Talk, episode 39. Today on the podcast, going to be going over the weekend roundup, talking about some golf news, some interesting LIV news that's broken in the last 24 hours. Going to go into some what are we watching. I banked out a few movies this weekend, so did Will, and with the new series on HBO, we are getting into that Thrones territory where there's a new Sunday night 9 o'clock show. Very excited for it. Going to go into the stand-up section of the podcast towards the end. Welcome to T-Box Talk, weekend roundup. Bagel, why don't you kick us off?
Me. All right. Well, I wouldn't sure this qualifies as the weekend, but I would like to shout out our team gathering on Thursday.
Yes, we did.
Which was a lot of fun. Josh noted. Now I have tried Josh's food. He's a phenomenal cook. So shout out Josh. That was a great meal. A little basketball, a little swimming, but overall, yeah, we all had a good time. Friday was super low-key day. I really have nothing to report on there. But Saturday, I went and saw The Whale.
Okay.
With Brendan Fraser, finally, which I'll save for what are we watching, obviously. And then Sunday was a really fun day, too. A little Sunday fun day action. Went to XGolf with my dad. Nicky Shanks and his dad picked me up. We met my dad out in Worcester. Played golf for 2 hours. Almost had Nicky Shanks beat. I was 1 under, actually, and Nicky Shanks came through, ended up 2 under. Before, literally came down to the last putt on the last hole. So he beat me, -2, so good job, Shanks. You still suck. And then right after that, we went to the Fix in Worcester, which was a recommendation from a couple people. It's a burger bar, but Mark Adamovich has some family ties to the restaurant. So we went there despite that, and it was actually a great spot, great bar. Super busy, and it was right down the street from XGolf, like walking distance. So it was a good little bang Sunday fun day, and it was good seeing Shanks.
Yeah, shout out Shanks. He sucks at basketball, by the way. Yeah, for such an athletic kid. And I wonder if he still listens to the podcast, but my God, he cannot shoot a basketball. But he is a D1 golfer. So.
We'll get a text from him in like 3 months because he verbally told me at XGolf that he needs to get caught up with the podcast. So a month down the line, we'll get something from him.
By the way, you said he is a D1 golfer. He was a D1 golfer. And I'd like to note that I believe one of my biggest beliefs in golf and in sports and in life is that the things that you repeat, the things that you get those fucking repetition, on, that is 100% part of the reason why someone is good at something. So Nicky Shanks was playing when he was working here, he was playing right before that nonstop. Like the amount of golf that they actually play to me was dumb, really almost concerning. I never thought literally they're playing enough golf that I think I would burn out of it within a week or two. It was pretty insane, his regimen. I mean, he was playing 36 holes a day for a week at a time, 5 days a week or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see how good he is when he's not getting those reps and he's putting on weight over at that that payment solution.
Yeah, you do put on weight. I remember I had a summer internship, just at a sales job, and because I was the intern, I would go out and get breakfast sandwiches for the sales team, and it was always paid for me. And then I'd always go out for lunch just to get out of the freaking hellhole of an office. And then I'd always go out for drinks and apps with the sales team after work. So I gained a lot of freaking weight during that summer. Got a nice gut going on, but it was fun. It was a good time. And shout out again, Josh is cooking his fried rice. Josh makes one of the best fried rice in the game, and it's freaking amazing.
I'll tell you, that wasn't even it for the record.
No, because you didn't have your secret.
I didn't have my
the teriyaki.
Yeah, you need a thin base that just coats it, but isn't like the glob.
Yeah,
the glob is too much, which is what I had. But I thank you guys. That means a lot. That meal actually ended up being a week's worth of food for me because there was
a lot of leftovers.
Yeah, and I was able to use little components, but I fucked up on the chicken. I will say that. And the reason I fucked it up is because I cooked the chicken in the sauce. To me, that's kind of a mistake. What it should have been is I should have flash fried the chicken and then put a sauce over it so that the chicken didn't have that dried out consistency,
It was still good. I got no complaints.
Yeah, and I can't cook, so I can't even pass judgment here.
But the real winner of the night, Will, what's the real winner of that meal, of the food that we ate that night?
Oh. The watermelon.
Dude.
It's like 1:30
I
in
don't
the
know
morning.
what happened with this watermelon because I woke up from like a bunch of text messages about fucking watermelon.
Will and I, well, actually, funny enough, like we convinced I don't even know that we really convinced him. He just kind of stayed like till like 3 a.m. and it was hilarious because like Will and I were just sitting there at the end of it for like talking for like a while, and we decided to crack open the watermelon. And I don't know if it was because I hadn't drank that much water and like we had been drinking, and we went swimming, we did a lot, we did the basketball. Like I didn't know if I was dehydrated, and I thought in my head I was like the closest thing to like an electrolyte, sugar like fix my body right now going to sleep would be eating as much watermelon as I can. So I probably housed 80% of one of the big slivers of watermelon.
Did you slice it up or did you just like?
Well, Josh was cutting slices to start with. I had a couple slices. He had a couple slices. And then, like, I look over, and he's shaving off watermelon like it's prosciutto. Like, just shaving off little slices of watermelon with a knife and eating them. And by the end of it, yeah, he probably ate about 80% of that watermelon.
You're right. I was doing that. I had this big fucking knife, and I was cutting sliver watermelon for some reason. I don't even know what I was doing.
Out?
Yeah, just like little teeny slivers at a time and eating them so delicately.
Well, you know what
did it work?
Well, yeah, here's the thing, right? Is when you eat a watermelon, if you have too thick a piece and you try to get your teeth wrapped around the watermelon, it just kind of explodes and then drips all down. It's a lot. Yeah. But if you cut a thin layer, you can kind of crunch it with the teeth, and then it's just like it's easy to eat,
Did it work? Did it hydrate you?
I think it did. I didn't think I drank as much as I did that night because I was pretty fucking hungover the next day, and then I had to go to New York, which sucked. And then I drank 2 nights in a row, and like not a lot, but I did drink 2 nights in a row, and.
Well, that's a good segue into your New York weekend. So a couple good spots that you went to. I know you went to the what's it called? The
Little Spain.
Little Spain.
Yeah, I mean we went to the Comedy Cellar. We went to Little Spain. We went to this inside right above Little Spain is this massive New York mall, which was unlike any mall I'd ever been in. Better than all the Vegas malls I've seen.
Really? Even Caesars?
Yeah, I mean, Caesars is different because they do the ceiling thing where you're immersed in it. You think you're in Venice or you're in that case, Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
But I think that this mall, based on quality, based on foot traffic, because that does matter when you have people really like excited to be there, quality and everything. It was top notch. It was my biggest issue right now, I think, with New York is that I just want to be able to stay in the city.
Yeah, because you keep staying in Hoboken.
I keep staying in Hoboken, and it's not how I want to go to New York because the amount of travel, time back and forth is so bullshit for me. Like, not only do I have to go basically 5 to 7 hour trip into Hoboken to meet with them, or in this case, what I did was I went directly into the city, but I carried a backpack around with me. So that sucked. You know what I mean? And then I had to go all the way to Hoboken and then back and forth, and it caused me the second night to go home. We went back to Stamford on the second night early. So it was like we didn't really stay there for that long, and it was a short trip all said and done. But, it was fun. Little Spain is something I would love to. I said this a while ago, but I would love to do a New York trip with our crew, like this Omada crew, because I think we actually have similar, like, we're kind of adventurers in my head. Like, I think you would love going to Little Spain. You would love it. Angus would love it. You wouldn't be all in on like sitting around doing nothing, or in their case, they were kind of like there were too many people. That's one mistake, going with too many people to anything, because it was like 1,000 opinions in one pot.
Yeah,
but
it does suck doing that. Yeah,
but yeah, it was fun. I appreciate you asking, Clucci. Thank you.
Yeah, my weekend it's playoff football, and when it's playoff football is literally my favorite time of the year. I'm a massive fan of the NFL. I mean, obviously, if you listen to this podcast, I'm a Patriots lunatic, but without the Patriots in it, I can kind of just like sit back and just enjoy every minute of the playoffs and not have to worry about the Patriots. So we just gathered at my friend's house and just meticulously just gambled on every single thing known to man about the games. And for the first time all year, I freaking caught fire gambling. And like I won a bunch of money. Jaguars came back from 27 down, and I was all over the Jaguars live money line. I hit it like twice. It was incredible. I was hitting player props, which I never do. And my pick which I said a couple weeks on the podcast, the 49ers winning the Super Bowl is looking great right now because, my God, the 49ers look unbeatable. Bills played in a great game against Miami. I thought that was
I can't believe
it
came down to what it fucking did, dude.
Yeah,
that was
was insane.
Wild.
They have you know what I think happened? I think the Bills overlooked Miami. I don't think.
You think they were just like, we're just going to crush them?
Yeah, we're just like, oh, let's prepare for Cincinnati. Like, fuck the Dolphins.
Beginning of that game, they looked bad, too. The Dolphins.
Oh, they did. It was 17-0 in the blink of an eye.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like, holy shit. Like, I even turned it off for a little bit. I was like, all right, fuck this. I can go do something else while this is happening. And then I checked my ESPN app. It's like, what the fuck? It's a 3-point game in the fourth quarter. So I immediately tuned back in and watched the end
Waddle
of that.
fucking dropped the ball like 8 times on like perfect passes.
Yeah. The Dolphins, they were never going to win that game, but props to them for keeping it close. I mean, the spread was like, I think over a double-digit spread. So they kept it close.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Was it really?
It's third-string Dolphins quarterback. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's the fucking. I keep forgetting that
Tua
was not in there.
Tua was out. Teddy Bridgewater was out, so they had to go to third-stringer Skylar Thompson. Right. And then, I mean, keeping on the football for a little bit, Tom Brady may have played his last game on Monday night. We're recording this on Wednesday right now. Monday night, Bucs got freaking steamrolled by the Cowboys. So I don't know. You think Tom's done?
I mean, dude, in my head, he gave his marriage up for football. So I don't know that dude can be done. I'm not sure that he's like entirely committed to.
I'm convinced he's a robot at this point. He just wants to play. Did you watch any of the game Monday night? Because you could tell he was like, he's very scared to get hit. Like, he's like, I can't, because I think one hit could end his whole career right now. And so he does these things where he just dishes it so fast. He gives up so fast. Like, he'll just throw it in the dirt and just live to fight the next play.
I mean, dude, I'm still amazed he's even playing right now at the level he has been, because I don't know about you guys, but I swear to God, every day from when I turned like 22, my body, no matter what, like even when I'm working out and I'm staying in shape, like I still, like, at nighttime, I'll just, like, sleep wrong and I'll be out 2 months with a neck injury. You know what I mean? Like,
we played, like, an hour of basketball at your house, and I had to take a foot bath the next day. I took 2 foot baths.
Yeah, dude. So I get amazed when I see people at certain ages doing things. I look at bodybuilders who are, like, 40 years old, and I'm like, I don't even understand it. I think
it's all diet. I mean, my mom got me.
And steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, a person on steroids will perform better than a person off steroids. The Liver King. That never got brought up, but like, dude, I mean, you can't look like that and perform like that without steroids. Like the average.
The fact that he was like, I'm natural.
Yeah, bro. It takes me sometimes like a week still to heal, and I've been doing pull-ups every week for like 7 months. Yeah. And it's just brutal.
That's also diet, too. Like, my mom one year got me the TB12 method book for Christmas just to read it. And I was, like, looking through it. I was like, this looks like hell on earth. Like, fuck this. And I never even tried it. Never even gave it an attempt. I mean.
But diet, if you were to diet and continue to do whatever you're doing for workouts, you will see a big improvement. But I'd like to note that you will never look like the Liver King Colucci. Like it's. But if you started pumping,
looks like a comic book character.
Yeah,
fuck that guy.
Yeah, seriously. But if you started pumping steroids, Colucci, I gotta be honest, that would be one of the funniest things you've ever seen.
I should do a cycle,
dude. I had a kid in my fraternity, and he came. We did that big fraternity meet last year. This kid, I'm not kidding you, Colucci. He was less than or equal to your size, just like being a normal kid. He was even probably scrawnier than you are.
I weigh 145 pounds.
Right, like he probably was like even bare bones beneath that. We show up to the fraternity meeting or fraternity like gathering or whatever. This fucking kid put on probably 150 pounds of muscle, and he's like, dude, he's not a tall kid at all, and now he's a trainer and whatnot. You took one look at that kid, knowing where he came from, not natural.
Like I'm still holding strong on my suggestion that Colucci should just work out his arms. Only arms.
He could be like Popeye.
Popeye, yeah.
Popeye, I am doing pretty good in my gym routine. I'm on to week 2, and I already went once this week. I'm going again today. I'm very excited.
Let's fire it up, dude. I love that.
Yeah, I just keeping it cool. Except I saw my little brother at the gym the other day, and then I thought he had left, so I was doing my arm curls, and then when I got home later, he was clowning me for my form on my arm curls. So now I have to reevaluate everything.
Stronger you get, the more into it you get, the more you'll figure out the form.
He was like, "You're swaying your body. Those aren't arm curls." I was like, I didn't know that.
It's still fucking arm curls.
Me.
Just because you sway your body, like people said that. I knew a lot of guys who would fucking lift super heavy, and at some point your form deteriorates over your sets. You know what I mean? The more tired you get, the less your form is. You know?
Yeah. But anyways,
you're in the fucking gym, baby. You're getting swole, Colucci. That's all. Consistency, sustainability, baby. That's
diet.
And diet. That's the motivation of 2023.
See, last night I freaking DoorDashed a fat ass burger with a bunch of steak.
Oh, god damn it, Colucci. That's
throwing it all away. I'm throwing it all away.
It probably doesn't help that this fucking kid keeps walking in with honeydew. Like those honeydew sandwiches are the most processed bullshit calories in the world.
So good though. But anyways, playoff football, very excited. Doing it all over again this weekend. I'm super excited. I had a massive Andrew Sunday as well with football and movies, but we'll save that for the what are we watching. To get into some golf stuff, unless anyone else has anything from the weekend that they wanted to mention.
No, I want to circle back really quickly. I said Mark Adamowicz has family ties to the Fix, and I said, despite that, I still went. I just want to say, like, we went unknowingly.
Okay.
So, like, Mark, I wasn't. I know you listen to the podcast. It was a great spot. Please tell your brother-in-law.
All right. Anyways, golf stuff. I got one interesting thing here. Back to LIV news. LIV, if you remember from their little first season, you could only really watch it on like YouTube or on their website, but they are closing in on a deal with the CW channel to get the LIV tournaments on TV, which will be a big step forward for the LIV golf.
They're really reaching though. I mean, what's the CW?
I have no idea what the CW is.
Exactly.
I think the CW is, I think, basic cable, though. I think everybody has access to the CW.
I feel like it's like, for me, like, I've heard of it before, and I kind of picture the logo in my head, but it just reminds me of, like, a C-SPAN channel or, like, a channel that nobody watches, but it's always on. Like, that you would get with an antenna.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, basic cable. Basic cable, yeah. I swear to God, I think sports are the only thing that's keeping cable television alive right now.
That's obviously going away pretty soon.
Yeah, and it's just going to be all streaming services.
I mean, you and I were both at that Thursday night game at the Pats in Gillette Stadium when Amazon shut the whole game down for like 30 minutes and did a whole ad set with a movie playing in the arena. It was...
They literally did half the reason you go to live NFL games, you don't have to freaking watch the commercials. And we went to the Thursday night game, which is broadcast by Amazon. They freaking had a TV timeout and showed an Amazon movie commercial on the jumbo screen. And we were like, what the fuck is this?
Well, I mean, like, my thing is, like, if they're going to continue streaming it for free on YouTube, like, I don't know what the contract with the CW states, but if they're going to keep, because that's how they started, they're just live streaming on YouTube. So if they're going to continue doing that,
they won't. If they sign with the CW, they're not going to stream it on YouTube anymore.
Which I think is stupid. I know, but I think it's stupid because, like, everyone basically owns a smart TV these days, or a smartphone, or an iPad, or some form where they can access YouTube, and it's like it's a lot more convenient than having to rely on basic cable to watch it.
I don't know though, because like the golf audience probably a lot older, right? I'm not really saying anything crazy there. I mean.
But for the LIV,
like having to tell like an older person like, hey, you have to go to YouTube to watch the stream. Like they might not get that. Like when I had to tell my parents that you can't watch Thursday Night Football on TV anymore, you have to watch it on the Amazon Prime app. It was like trying to teach Mandarin Chinese to somebody. It's like,
fair. I do think the demographic for LIV might be a little bit different than the PGA Tour, because I think the LIV has kind of brought out a much younger demographic, and I'm sure there's still people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that watch the LIV as well. But that would be my only devil's advocate to that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Anyone else got anything for golf?
I have something if you want to.
No, I don't have anything. Go for it. How
many times in history has someone hit a hole-in-one on a par 5 in recorded golf history?
Once. I think it's once.
Okay, that's your guess.
I'm going to go twice.
4 times.
No.
I win.
4 times recorded in history.
On luck. It's got to be on luck.
What?
Is it on luck?
The fuck does on luck mean?
Like, did they get lucky?
Yeah, I'm going to say they got a little bit lucky on the fucking par 5.
You're freaking clowning.
I think that they got a little bit lucky on that par 5 hole-in-one.
We posted the freaking TikTok of when I guessed 3.5 million for the balls lost, and Will guessed $1 billion, and everybody was clowning me on this podcast. And then the TikTok commenters came to my side because I was closer.
Yes, I know that. We said that on the podcast, Andrew. The joke there was that the math is simple. Like, you guessed, the number you guessed, yes, in actual numeric value was less, but the nature of it, what's the word I could use here, Will? The preposterousness, or what's that word?
Preposterous.
That's the one you're looking for.
The preposterous nature.
The number was just so far off because literally we know that there's 90 million golfers, active on-course golfers. We started a golf, you know what I mean? Like you're in a golf company. Like must have told you this 50 times in different pitches. Like, you know this. And then you said 3.5 million golf balls, which literally is a fraction of the number. Like, 1 billion is like 90 million golfers could definitely hit 1 billion golf balls if people played a lot of golf that year. You know what I mean? Whereas 3.5 million is preposterous.
It's negative.
Yeah.
They would have to earn ball. They would have to get balls.
They would have to be fishing so many, but every golfer in the world, not even in America, would have to fish probably 100 balls out of the fucking water.
But if you've ever seen The Price is Right, the person who wins The Price is Right is the closest guest without going over.
I mean, that's fine, but we're not. This ain't
People
The Price
bet
is
a
Right.
penny.
Price is wrong, bitch.
The Price is wrong.
People bet a penny in The Price is Right. Shout out Price is Right. Freaking awesome.
Sorry,
show.
buddy. The price is fucking wrong, bitch.
All right, so four hole-in-ones on par
Okay,
five.
what is the odds of hitting 2 hole-in-ones in one round? You know that the odds of hitting a hole-in-one in your
I think
lifetime
it's
is 1 in 12,000.
I'm gonna go 1 in 100,000.
I think I read.
No, two. The odds of hitting a hole-in-one in your lifetime are 1 in 12,000.
Right.
The odds of hitting 2 hole-in-ones in the same round, what is the odds?
I think I know the answer because I think I've read this as well. But
Well, I'm just gonna go with my original answer because I'm not just gonna double 12,000. Like, it's gonna.
But that's
it's
in
one.
Will. That's in your lifetime, though. The 1 in 12,000 is in your lifetime.
Oh, lifetime.
So, like, in the same round to do it both times, like right then and there. What are your odds guess?
1 in 1.2 million.
Okay.
1 in 64 million.
Yeah,
I read
suck.
it. Yeah,
it's
I know.
1 in 67 million is your odds of.
I was
hitting
gonna
a
go
hole-in-one
100
twice.
million, but then
Because-
I like kind of backtracked and I'm like, that's gonna be too much. I said
No,
$1
that's
billion
fair.
for the golf ball
I
thing.
thought that previous stat, I think is what fucked you up because the baseline is.
I don't
is
know
kinda
if you
off.
read the rest of the article on that, but isn't there like a young kid who did it? It was like a 5 or 7 year old kid
No.
or something. Yeah, look into that. Or maybe he was 12 years old. He did it, and it's a crazy story.
So the other day, I remember when I said that there was only I talked about golf on the moon.
Yeah.
There's actually only 2 sports that have been played on the moon. What is the second sport?
Shit. I'm gonna
Soccer,
volleyball.
Javelin.
javelin.
They
that's
brought
sick,
a
that's
javelin
sick,
to the
that's sick,
moon.
that'd be
I
sick.
thought that was kind of cool, dude. I thought that was really, really unique.
That would be freaking cool. I could
You
never
could throw that shit like a whole football field.
Did you? I know Josh used to throw javelin. Did you ever throw javelin?
No, our school is too small to offer like any of the track and field sports.
Dude, it was freaking hard.
We had track but no field.
I didn't do it for the sports team, but I remember one gym class, our teacher didn't have a plan, so he was like, we're going to go try the track and field events. And I tried throwing a javelin. It was like impossible.
I blew my elbow out.
Yeah.
I almost had to get Tommy John surgery. Had I continued to throw, I would have 100% had to do it. Like my first meet. Because I had my thing was already gone from Little League. I don't know what just over time it got so fucked up. And it went away.
Did discus affect your?
That's why I was able to do it because it didn't.
What is discus? What part of your arm is
Isn't
the
it
disc?
like
Discus
discus
is-
when you hold the ball up to
No,
your
that's
shot
shot
put.
put, which I did as well. When I did decathlon, I did them all. And discus is when discus I was the best at because I'm explosive and I'm fast. But I'm not, at the time, I wasn't that strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you can be good at certain activities without even being strong because you just have this, like, snap to your So discus was like throwing. It'd be you like starting a circle and you throw the disc up in the air.
Okay.
Yeah. At one point, I threw it 134 feet, I think, which I could have gone to college for it if I had wanted to be a loser the rest of my life.
Did you ever try jumping over a hurdle?
Oh, I had to do hurdles in the decathlon. That's what I did. And I actually got this thing called running sickness. And basically, you get a flu. When you run too much, if you overexert your body to a certain degree on running, you can get a flu. You can basically get flu-like symptoms for a number of days.
Fuck that.
It was the reason I basically figured I was like, this is the worst thing that I've ever done. I never want to do this again. And then that was like, I did it that year and I was done with it. I never touched it again.
I tried jumping over a hurdle in middle school and I scissored my balls right onto the middle of it. I never tried again.
Scallucci's scissoring his balls on a fucking hurdle.
I didn't
hated
commit.
hurdles.
I did not commit. So like when I jumped over it, I panicked and I just scissored my balls right on. It hurt so bad.
Here's a question. We sell a push cart, right? Or one of our entities sells a push cart, Omada Golf. Well, I guess we are Omada Golf, but we're technically T-Box Talk in this instance. But Omada Golf sells a push cart. So I was curious about this. What do you got? How many miles do you think you walk on 18 holes, and how many calories do you think you on average burn?
I know the answer to this. So
I think it's 3.5 miles, 4,000 calories burned.
So on average, you burn 600 to 900 calories an hour walking a golf course, and a golf course is typically 5 to 7 miles. So
5 to 7.
So so maybe this is like that's also. I think this isn't like super accurate because there's literally every golf course is different, but they basically said that on average in America, it's 4 miles is what you would walk in 18 holes, and you'd burn 2,000 calories. And I think that's fucking crazy because I think that on average, that means if you were to play a couple rounds a week, I mean, that day you're going to lose weight if you don't go out and fucking overeat.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Department of Health only requires 150 minutes of cardio per week. That's their recommendation. So if you go out and play a round of golf, you're already exceeding that what they're recommending.
Right.
So health wise, and then this is something that we use, I think, in our benefit when for marketing is that it is a great way to get exercise while enjoying the game. Like, it's that simple.
Yeah.
Right. I never thought about that.
And you get change in elevation as well.
I mean, I've always had the value of walking in there, but I never really thought on a caloric burning basis that you would be burning basically the normal daily intake of someone who's dieting. You know how long you have to run on a treadmill and how much you have to do there to actually burn 2,000 calories?
It's really hard.
It's
doing a 20-minute cardio workout.
What does it say you burn?
175.
Dude, isn't that such bullshit?
It sucks.
It's so stupid.
Demoralizing.
It is. That's why I'm doing the calisthenics stuff because it's bullshit. Like that kind of irks me almost that you could walk one round of golf and burn 2,000 calories and do that. I mean, granted, it would probably take like 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
you have to think when you're walking, you're pushing a 20-pound cart, which is average it out 20 or 30 pounds.
That's true.
You're not necessarily always walking in a straight line. If you shank your ball, you could zigzag across the fairway and make that hole twice as long. Mm-hmm. And then like Scallucci said, you also have to consider, hills, elevation. Like most courses, there's a lot of flat courses out there, but, like Tallwood, for example, like you're walking up and down several hills over the course of 18 holes. So
that's true. And if you're carrying your bag, then that's also a whole other thing. But
yeah.
I don't know. I think that's kind of a cool thing, though, to think that you really can be – you could honestly get in shape just playing golf. I mean, especially if you're, like, getting older. If you're, like, 40 – I say 40 is young. I'd say 50, 60, 70, and you start walking a golf course, dude, you're going to be in tip-top shape.
My dad still goes out, and shout out Super Dave. He still goes out and carries 18. And
Does he really?
63, yeah.
That's why he was saying he would like the walk bag.
Yeah.
Yes. Because he likes to go out and get, he loves to play in under 3 hours. So, that would help him speed it along. But, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people always say golf carts are faster. You finish a round way faster if you're walking.
You absolutely will. You don't have to deal with any of the bullshit of waiting on your partner. Everybody just goes to their own thing.
Right. It supplements ready golf.
And you also don't have to – it's a stupid thing, but having to drive all the way around sometimes and then walk even further distance to the ball.
Yeah.
Because, sometimes you'll be on the opposite side of green, and you have to walk up a hill. You got to go across the green. You got to go back into the fairway because they told you to park the cart just beyond, kind of thing.
Yeah, you're not even mentioning like cart path only holes too.
Oh yeah, that's even crazier.
And just talking with your friends. I mean, like when you go 2 and 2 and 2 golf carts, it's very hard to like really communicate the whole day. But when you're walking, it's kind of like everybody kind of walks together. It's fun.
I really do like walking as long as the course is not.
The hilly courses is hard.
Like we've walked really New England Country Club, and it's a very hilly course, and it's fucking brutal.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Not fun.
There's some courses I just won't even try.
Right. Well, that should have been one of them, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else for golf?
Nope.
All set. All right. That was a great little segment there, guys. We're gonna roll right into what are we watching, and I'm gonna lead this off because I got some things I've been really excited to talk about. So, 3 movies, 1 TV show. Lead it off with Hereditary, A24 film. It's kind of like in the same family as Midsommar. It's scientifically, they wrote an article that it's the scariest movie ever made. And I had been putting it off because I was very scared to watch it. And then I finally just said, fuck it. And I watched it because it just came on HBO Max. And holy shit, I'm still, like 3 days later, I think I've had a nightmare every night about Hereditary. And but like that's what's so good about it. And like I'm ranking this in the 9s, like maybe a 9.2, because for what it was, trying to be a horrific, scary movie, it hit it perfectly. And it's kind of realistic too. Well, it's not real. It depends if you believe in ghosts, or demons or spirits and stuff like that. But there's like there's like a satanic group in it. And so it's like, and those do exist in the world. There are satanic groups who do seances and stuff like that. So it kind of is very, very, very scary. So highly recommend Hereditary if you're into horror movie. Will, I know you've seen Hereditary before, right?
Yes, sir.
And you enjoyed it?
I did enjoy it.
Did you see Midsommar as well?
Did not see Midsommar.
Okay.
Hereditary is one of the first, like when I got back into watching horror movies, it was one of the first ones I watched, obviously.
Yeah, it's fucked. It's a really good movie.
Damn, how scary is it, Will?
I mean, like, I guess I have a bit of a tolerance to scary movies, but it's pretty scary. Yeah.
Can we get a little plot?
So, family. All right. So this family loses their grandmother. Okay. Then just a series of shit starts happening. They move. They go back home. The grandmother was living in their home with them in her end years. And then they lose someone else in the family. And then the mom is just so broken with grief that she turns to this woman who teaches her to summon spirits, to communicate with them.
Seance, right?
Well,
is that what it is?
Well, that comes into play later. You don't know that the woman had evil intentions. So, like, the main character, the main woman who lost someone plus her grandmother, I don't want to reveal who the other one is because it's like a huge twist in the movie. She like is obsessed with trying to communicate with her dead relatives, and it kind of backfires big time. So it's really, really, really scary.
So basically, they're fucking around with Ouija boards and
seances,
trying to communicate with the grandma because grief has stricken them.
Not the grandma, the other person that they lose. But again, I don't want to say that because it just came on HBO Max. So if anybody missed it, because they lose somebody else in the family, and it's like shocking. It's like you don't see it coming. It's like one of the most shocking horror scenes I've ever seen. It's Is it human inflicted or is it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's really scary. And
I kind of feel like
I just like I'm like remembering all this now because I haven't watched it in probably a year.
Oh, it's
what happens?
Skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to spoil Hereditary. But the teenage son brings his like younger sister to a high school party because the sister's like kind of a weird
antisocial
girl. Yeah. So he brings her and she has a peanut allergy. She eats some cake, has an allergic reaction. He's trying to drive her to the hospital after the party because he got baked and he didn't know that she got sick. And she's sticking her head out the window
trying to force air down her throat so she can breathe.
Yeah, because her throat's closing up, and he drives too close to a telephone pole and it decapitates her.
Wow.
And she's like a young girl, and it was like
here's what I'll say about
and then
that.
The kid doesn't say anything. He just fucking drives home and leaves the girl decapitated
in the back seat of the car. The mom walks out the
it.
next morning and finds
You're
the dead daughter.
Kidding me.
Yeah, and then
was he just in shock?
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He was just completely.
He just like literally came home, like locked the car, went inside, and like went to bed.
Yeah. And then the movie just takes off from there.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I want to break that apart for a second. My sister has a deathly peanut allergy, and in the event like something like that happens, she would never be driven to the hospital. One of two things would happen. Someone at that party in that house, wherever she was at, would have had an EpiPen, and if they didn't have an EpiPen, she'd be on the fucking ground, and the ambulance would be there long before the brother ever has the opportunity to
They
take her to
kind
the
of set it up that it's kind of a rural like town, like in the woods.
And even if she was in the car with him, breathing air down the throat would not have helped her at all. Like that has no impact whatsoever. Fuck that movie. Fuck that situation.
And it only gets worse from there. But anyways, if you're into horror movies, Hereditary, check it out. I'll make my next few faster. I watched The Menu. For some reason, this movie is getting mixed reviews. It shouldn't. It's freaking amazing. I loved The Menu. I know you guys both liked it, right?
Yes.
The mixed review makes sense because it's a movie that you kind of have to be a certain type of viewer or watcher to appreciate because the story doesn't flow at all. And I guess that's an opinion, right? Because I like the movie, but I thought that it was...
You can understand the negative criticism.
Yeah, like I can understand what they're saying. Like, dude, you get these characters that you have no affiliation with whatsoever that just kind of pop in and you don't know what their role is. And then the motivation behind him to do the things that he did just didn't really ever feel meaningful to me. Like when she gets the burger and walks out and whatnot, like I understood that like when he was a kid, she brought her back, but like, why was this girl, I don't know.
I think also because, I don't want to dive too much into detail, but she wasn't really supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Everything about that dinner was calculated for 8 months with the help of a little douchebag guy.
Yeah.
Who was, I don't want to talk, I don't want to like spoil too much.
I definitely liked the movie, but I can understand where there's criticism.
Yeah, I'm not going to give it a crazy rating. I mean, like, I think it deserves 7.5.
I would say the exact same thing.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it wasn't crazy,
I just
but
love
I
Voldemort
enjoyed it
too.
For me, it was like a dark comedy.
Ooh.
Like that's how I
Voldemort.
perceived it.
That's Voldemort.
No way.
Yes, that's Voldemort.
The chef is Voldemort?
The chef is Voldemort.
Wow, that makes it so much better. Last movie I'm going to talk about. I haven't finished it yet, but I think it's a newer movie released in the last couple of years. It's called Honey Boy, directed and created by Shia
Honey
LaBeouf.
Boy is one of the best movies ever made.
I haven't finished it yet, but holy shit, is it good. Shia LaBeouf is back.
He's not back. He actually got canceled right after that.
Tough.
Yeah.
Too bad. So sad.
Because he after that movie came out, I guess he beat his wife or something, the girlfriend.
Tough.
Yeah.
Anyways, Honey Boy, great movie. I can't wait to finish it. And then obviously the show that's captivating the world right now, The Last of Us, premiered finally on HBO. First episode was an absolute banger.
Zombie movie. I was about to watch it last night with my parents, but they were not interested because they were too tired.
It's not really zombies. It's kind of zombies.
Apocalypse.
It's like zombies crossed with like The Happening. Like that, it's kind of like a biological like.
It's like
World War Z.
It's like World War Z zombies. They're fast and they're strong and they're actually scary and pose a threat.
Yeah, I saw the one clip of the trailer when the guy's climbing out of the hole. Is that in the episode yet? The Berserker.
Oh no, that was in the trailer for what's coming.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's mutation. Because it's a fungal infection. So a fungal infection. Now, my only concern with The Last of Us is that the whole show is already out there because if they go 1-for-1 from the video game, the story's already out there. So you got to be very careful. Don't look anything up about the show because some asshole's probably going to out there spoil it if you haven't played the video game. But yeah, Last of Us, very good. HBO is just dropping bangers. So that's going to wrap up my What Are We Watching? Will, tell us about The Whale.
The Whale. Yeah. This is obviously this movie's brand new. You could only see it in theaters, so I'm not going to go into any detail on it.
Please don't, because I really don't know much about it.
I will say it was absolutely phenomenal. It lived up to everything I saw, leading up to its release. It's extremely depressing, but I think most people know that going into it. And like ultimately there's a lot of like underlying symbolism in the movie. Like, and contrary to like when you finish a movie, if you go with friends or your girlfriend or whatever, like you leave the movie and you usually like talk about how you felt about it for like 15 to 20 minutes after. Yeah, we left the movie theater and probably sat in silence for 15 to 20 minutes after it.
Really?
So it was one of those movies. It's not necessarily a movie I'd go see again, but like that can also be a positive, like if you flip it, because like it was so fucking good and also so depressing that like the one time seeing it was all I needed. This movie ranks in the 9s for me. Brendan Fraser already won a Critics' Choice Award for Best Actor. I definitely see an Oscar coming in his future. Go see it. It's in theaters only. That's all I can say.
So I don't know. I've been like reading a lot of things about the Oscars. I don't think he's in good standing with the Oscar committee. That's why he didn't win a Golden Globe.
No, because he bailed out. He didn't go.
Yeah, he shit on the Golden Globes.
You know why?
Yeah, because I think I mentioned this previously on the podcast, but he was sexually assaulted by somebody and said something, and then
he was blacklisted.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whether or not, he gets it because of outside forces, he still deserves it.
Yeah.
Like it was an absolutely wild performance. And Sadie Sink is in it.
Yeah.
She has a really good role as well. And just like The Tailor, I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie. That was a one set film. Like everything was shot within one location. This movie is all shot within one location, his apartment.
It's funny how those movies are starting to become more and more popular, and it's just coming down to phenomenal acting.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. I was watching last night. I watched behind the scenes of Step Brothers, just how they were making it. And like you don't realize when you're like, yes, they are in sets and whatnot, and there's a lot of things going on. You just don't realize though when you see it from the perspective of just someone looking on, it only can be what it is because they're so good at acting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it looks like you could put those guys in this room and they still would have a fucking great piece of content come out of it. You know what I mean? Like they're just special. It's hard to find people who can act like that. And Brendan Fraser, you could just tell from the trailer on that movie, he was pulling. That was method acting, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was pulling from things in his life to get to that place, and then also going to a whole new place of disparity. Like, yeah, very convincing trailer. Rarely do you see something so compelling and so jarring.
I'm glad it actually stood up to the hype so far.
It exceeded the hype for me.
Yeah.
It was a big thinker movie, and I watched it up in North Attleboro. So if you guys ever want to see it, it's playing at Cinema Deluxe.
Probably gonna wait till it comes out because that is a movie that I would want to watch alone, so that I'm not bawling my eyes out in front of a whole crowd of people.
It was kind of funny, like when the movie ended. You know how like people usually get up and leave right away. I think like everyone had been crying, like myself included. I'm not gonna act like a tough guy here. Like I cried and like
I'm gonna cry at that.
No one wanted to get up and leave when the lights came on because like you just spent the last hour crying at Brendan Fraser. Yeah.
Was it awkward with your girlfriend sitting there, like? You just like crying next to her and her crying next to you?
I'm a sensitive guy,
But that was, because you ever had that moment when you're like in a movie and you're watching something and something bad happens or something impactful happens and like you have your family on the couches next to you and you're like, you kind of are tearing up, but you're kind of like low key ashamed of it. So you just kind of like wipe it off to the side.
Or
I was more worried about like sniffling too loud and not like
like sobbing.
I have no problem crying in front of Marissa. It's wouldn't be the first time.
So you're just worried about being like,
I'm just like worried about like everyone hearing me like disrupting, like the peaceful atmosphere because it was a really. I don't know how what theaters look like these days, and we've seen a couple movies at Cinema Deluxe, but it was a very intimate theater. There was probably 20 seats in that movie theater. Like it was tiny.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
because they went with the recliners.
Yeah, well, I've also been to
that's a different movie theater then.
Oh, the Deluxe.
The Cinema Deluxe I've sat in other theaters inside that one location, and there's been a lot more seats before. So for whatever reason, they chose to put an extremely depressing movie and then cram 20 people into one room, and then
well, you know what? It's probably because every freaking screen is showing Avatar 2 right now.
That might be it. Also, the one thing I will say is that it was filmed in like 1x1, like it was like a square movie on a big screen.
Ooh.
So like that, not that it really took away like anything from me, but it was just a little surprising that like it was filmed it's filmed in a very specific way.
Odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super weird. All right.
Will, did you got anything else besides The Whale?
No, I just had The Last of Us. I'm almost done with Sopranos, which is great. Marissa and I have just been hammering away at that, so I think
For
we're
the
on
first time.
Yeah, for the first time.
Right.
It's getting good now.
Gear up.
Kluchi, this is like the 5th time he's talked about that on the podcast. You didn't know that it was his first time
Will
watching?
rewatches everything, dude. He freaking rewatches Game of Thrones all the time. Like freaking, I don't know.
Do you watch Game of Thrones all the time? Rewatch it?
I'm on my 3rd rewatch through it right now.
Okay,
but it's not like I'm watching it every day. Like we split it up, you know.
Right. All right. Well, I'm going to switch it up. This is going to be a little bit different of a segment. Because there's going to be 2 things I tell you that are film, and then there's going to be one that is an overarching piece of content stream that I've been kind of involved with, and it's kind of blowing me away. I'll start with The Pressure Cooker. That is a new cooking show on Netflix. It's a very good show because it's a very unique show because there's no celebrity chefs. It's just the team, and the team has to vote each other out.
Oh.
And so there are like, it kind of mixes a little bit of Survivor-esque elements to it and also a little bit of collusion, a little bit of whatever. And there's no moderators on the show. Yeah. There's no one in the room with them when they vote. They just get this little ticket in the machine. And that ticket is the staff communicating with them as to what they need to do. So that's kind of the rules of the game, so to speak. Winner gets $100K. And so far, I'm not all the way through, but pretty good show.
100K.
Definitely.
I've seen it.
You saw the whole thing, or?
No, I turned it off about 30 minutes into the first episode because I couldn't stand that fucking guy with the short blonde hair.
You know what's funny?
Who just thinks he's the fucking bee's knees.
So initially, Will, I literally think that's the first episode because
it is.
I mean, like the rest of the show, he was the least of my nerves. Or sorry, like he wasn't on my nerves because I'll be honest with you, Will, he comes out super cocky. But I got to be honest, he's the best cook out of them. It's not even a question in my mind. You'll see that throughout the show.
That's fine. It's just like the first episode,
Sets the characters
He didn't
up.
even have anything constructive to say. Like, he's just shitting all over everyone's. Like, he didn't have one positive thing to say. It was just all, like, negative shit. Like, I'm the best, you're the worst. Like,
right.
And no one else was chiming in. Like, no one else was offering criticism or, like, anything positive, bringing anything positive to light.
But see, I literally think that's because of the nature of the show. It's never been done like that before. That's a first for anybody to go into that show. You don't know whether or not you're supposed to be more critical or less critical. Like there's now strategy involved. So that guy in that first episode, he doesn't do that again. In fact, he becomes like one of the most locked down partners in the show on different teams, and he executes every time. And there are other people on the show that really start to piss you off because there are some people on the show that are not talented. You can see it. It's plain as day and or not as talented as the other chefs. And they try to play this like Survivor game where they try to stay in off their alliances and whatnot. And but it's a cool show. I mean, I would recommend just trying to get past that first episode.
I'm sure I'll watch it again.
So what's it called? Pressure Cooker.
Pressure
on
Cooker.
Netflix. I don't like the $100K prize. If it's a Netflix show, there's a bigger prize.
Well, I mean,
It's a pretty
big prize, I think. $100K. Most cooking
that?
shows, I think, are like $10,000 an episode or something. Like Chopped was, I think, $10,000, right? An episode.
Chopped was $10,000 an episode, and then like Chopped Champions was like $50,000 an episode or something like that.
Right.
I just
Per
finished
episode.
Cocktail Masters on Netflix like a couple weeks ago. That was $100,000 prize, I believe, too.
I think.
It's chump change.
Yeah, it is kind of. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, but it depends on how much the show makes. You know, like Mr. Beast, for instance, like he talked about in that Lex Friedman interview.
That's what Lex Friedman.
But he did say something like there's a mental science around the number. Once you get past $100,000, it becomes negligible. To win $1 million versus winning $100,000 is not to the consumer anything. It's not that different because they're just two big numbers now. Mm-hmm. Like doing 10 million versus $1 million, it's so big you can't comprehend the value of that. You just see big number. Mm-hmm. Whereas if you see like $50 like we did in our little thing, if that had been $10,000, it's a whole other emotion that it invokes.
Right.
But anyways, that good show. You should check it out. This is crazy. This is brand new. I guess this concept is now what modern sports has turned into, because we know they're doing it with the PGA as well and the LIV Tour with professional golfers. They just came out with the equivalent of the F1 series, but in tennis, which is now called the Breakpoint. And I'm not a tennis fan, but this format is changing my opinion of sports. Like, it is making me fans of sports that I wouldn't normally be interested in. Like F1, 100%. I'd never watched an F1 race before I watched that series, and now I want to go to the one in Vegas or the one in Miami or whatever. Like, I'm a big fan, And this show, dude, tennis is not something I've ever been inclined towards. I have watched the movie with Shia LaBeouf, where it's the major match between the two guys. I can't remember their names.
I thought that was Andy Samberg and Jon Snow.
No. Well, that might maybe you're talking about a different movie, but the one I know of is Shia LaBeouf and then another guy. Oh, it's Christian Bale, I think. Christian Bale and Shia LaBeouf, maybe. But anyways, point is, it literally is following these independent professional tennis players throughout the course of different seasons. I don't understand the format at all of tennis. Like, it is so confusing. I never have understood that. You know, like, I get the match format, but how they do the league and how they do the winnings and what tournaments matter and whatnot, I have no concept of that.
I think it's about the Grand Slam. So it's about like the French Open, the U.S. Open, Wimbledon, and one more.
Yeah, which is not how they portray the show. There's like so many sub matches before they get there.
It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, I don't fully understand it, but it was pretty cool. Now for my last piece, my last thing, part of my weekend / part of the last week, and I've done this before, but things have changed so rapidly, is there's loads of now content on YouTube and other platforms that are completely surrounding modern artificial intelligence.
I can't do this.
And I got to be honest with you guys. I don't want to get too real for you on the podcast because I mean, it is intense. But AI at where we're at right now has reached a point now where it is somewhat horrifying. The power of AI is extraordinary. I mean, it's the equivalent of the greatest power in the known universe. Like, it literally gets to the point where human intelligence would be surpassed in what would feel like moments, you know what I mean, by AI. And the artificial intelligence, the thing is when you start to stack up all the pieces of like how Amazon and all these other conglomerates, Tesla, they're all coming out with these robots that are literally men, you know, like not like mankind, I should say. You know, they're physical beings that are going to be programmed and hooked up to a wireless whatever. And many of the robots we already have, our car has become a robot. We have iRobot cleaning our houses. We have, you know, refrigerators are even now robots, you know, so phones, everything our lives are generated around is basically computer technology that can be hacked and abused and controlled by an artificial intelligence. And it's worth going onto YouTube to understand what's going on, because I think in the near future, there are going to be some serious things that need to happen to sustain like a healthy relationships between mankind and AI.
It's terrifying. I literally don't like. I like scary like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, and like going down rabbit holes. But AI is like a rabbit hole I hate going down, because it's like you're just watching them fuck up and like be like, what are we doing?
Right.
We've made countless Hollywood movies saying we shouldn't do this, and we're just doing it. It makes no sense to me.
And then you see it live happening. Like, you see these robots. Like, have you guys ever heard of ChatGPT?
Is that the Google bot that went sentient?
Yeah, I've tried to.
Fuck that, dude.
No, I've tried to use it, but it's always at full capacity every time I try to use it.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, it literally, they showed one of the guys in the YouTube videos I was watching, he showed the searches for AI, and within 1 week, it went from like whatever to the #1 search on Google, AI.
Yeah, there's a lot of like blog writers. So like I obviously I follow Barstool, and like there's a blog writer there who like wrote a blog half himself and half AI and like blended it together, and like people are trying to figure out, because you can just put words into the AI machine and it'll like write a whole article in someone's voice pretty much.
This is exactly what I'm talking about, though, is that when you actually stop to think about the parameters of AI's possibility, it's in everything. And it's not just in everything, it's better than us. It's literally the evolution of human intelligence. Like, you have to think of it like this. Miso Robot. Have you guys ever heard of Miso Robot? That is the new robot. They were looking for funding, so they were advertising a bunch. Maybe I just got into their whatever, but they basically built a robot that flips burgers at a restaurant. Mm-hmm. And the last of what the humans do is essentially delivering the food and doing customer service, which if you know anything about Siri or any of these basic AIs, should be the easiest thing to handle, right? So it's a crazy thought that essentially, and then you have different restaurants in Tokyo and other places where the robot is delivering the food to the table. But it's not just one industry or the other. It's everything. Like when you think about stocks and hedge funds, if you have an AI that can control that, it is the ultimate power. I mean, it could be the wealthiest generation of money for like a short number of people who have that power of AI that will just own the world, like Cyberdyne, basically.
Yeah. And to my knowledge, we have no like laws controlling AI right now.
So, no, like, that's the thing. There's no FCC, there's no like FAA, there's no governing organization right now. And here's the worst part is that it's something that can be done in the comfort of your own home in the middle of Siberia. You know what I mean? Like you could have a rogue agent that just releases an AI that is so powerful because he just had the code in his fucking brain to do it, that the AI goes on a tangent and controls all of these devices and creates mass havoc.
Oh, it's so fucking scary.
It's so like, dude, it's gotten to the point where I had to tell someone, and this is the only platform I have to talk about this shit. But yeah, it's here now. It's not going now, dude. Stupid example. Have you used the AI paintings yet?
No, I have not.
You guys have
when
never
you type in the keywords and it like meshes it all together.
Yeah, you've never used this?
No.
I've seen it been used, but I haven't done it.
So I have it on my phone right now, but I don't want to take the time. I don't want to
Can you just send the link? What's the website called? Like
it's an app. You literally download an app and you comment. You can put anything in it, and AI is just making it. So stop and think about the implication of that. AI is now making images that are created from your ideas. So you've just eliminated in one shot all need for artistry. You've just eliminated the AI is so powerful now, even in the last like 3 weeks, that the same AI that was doing that, they've evolved into doing video. So now there's videos online that are completely created by AI. So all the movies you watch, all the things you think that humans work so hard on, if you can create CGI that looks as close to a human as a human does in real eye and with your real eye, you eliminate the need for cinematography and movie writing. You basically let AI do it for you.
It's like freaking, what's that show called that we like? The short story show.
Black Mirror?
No, but it's the cartoon version.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots. Some of the freaking CGI in that is so real. If you watch enough episodes in a row, you're like, I don't know if this is a real actor or CGI anymore. And you just get lost in it. It's wild.
And here's my final piece, because I've already been talking for a while. If you think about anything in this world, the disturbing part about it is that AI can do it. So like if you think about machining, Tesla has robots that build their cars. If you think about anything that we have, I mean, iPhones, these are handmade, but if you could get a robot to make these iPhones, you relinquish the need for manpower. If you think about content, they're creating AI. They've already have launched an AI that is literally a news channel. And it's a person on there talking to the fucking public. I mean, it's we're living a Black Mirror episode. These are the first like 10 minutes of the Black Mirror episode. The next like 10 years are going to be
just goes unhinged.
Unhinged.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So it's a crazy topic. I think if you guys have any interest in, Will, you've been silent over there. I don't know. I know I've been talking a lot. I don't know. If
I don't really have any input on AI yet. I just am waiting to see how everything plays out.
I'm going to be team. I mean, I am team AI just so that when they do take over, I'll be in their good graces.
Yeah.
I'm team AI. I'm team robot.
Yeah, they're going to go back to episode 39 of T-Box Talk and remember that Andrew Colucci was team AI.
I mean, maybe they could, fucking hey. I mean, honestly, there are the good things where like I think that you also could then go the other way. Like with everything in life, it's the positive and the negative, right? There's the negative shit that I just talked about. And then there's the positive, like it literally could cure cancer in like a couple months.
Yeah.
Because it's just the algorithmic potential of it and how it learns. Everything is compounded growth.
And it's going to come down to the people who are in control of the AI who get too power crazy. And it's gonna
that's literally, we're talking about some serious Terminator shit here, dude.
But all right, that's going to wrap up. What are we watching? I'm officially having a panic attack now on this podcast. But
PA.
Yeah, I'm having a PA.
Which is scarier, AI or the Hereditary?
AI.
Yeah.
AI. All right. Let's go into stand-up. I'm going to lead it off here. I got a few things I want to do. All right. So, quick thing. I get these weird epiphanies sometimes, like when I'm like in bed at night and like my brain is going a million miles an hour. And, they can range from anything to like, I'm going to start working out tomorrow. I'm going to take fries out of my diet. I'm going to quit nicotine. I'm going to give up this, give up that. But last night I had a real good one, and I'm gonna write a screenplay. So I'm gonna write a zombie movie or a TV show. So be on the lookout for that. I even started looking up apps last night, like best screenwriting apps to format your writing, and
Just use AI.
I was going to say, just hire.
Just go on ChatGPT.
Literally,
I
they'll write you a script.
yeah, I know. So you know what? Maybe this worked out for the best. Maybe the timing worked out for the best. My other thing is
The timing worked out.
You just glitch out of there.
Yeah, so the Kaluji doesn't have to do any of the work, and all his like.
plug in my weird ideas for my show.
He can have a show written in about 5 minutes, and then he can bail out on creating it.
sell
over
the
the next
script.
10 years.
My other thing is, I don't know if I'm the only one here who does this, but I bring my phone into the shower. I have a bathtub, so there's a place on the back where I can put like my shampoo bottle. But instead, I prop my phone up there and I watch like podcasts and YouTube videos and stuff. And my worst nightmare finally happened, where I was rushing out of the shower and frickin' the phone just fell right down into the water. It was devastating, but she survived.
It's waterproof.
I know, but I couldn't plug my phone into the charger for like 10 hours.
Oh, really?
It said there was water detected in the phone. I couldn't freaking charge my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I've been flirting with death for a while there, and finally caught up to me. Does anybody else bring their phone in the shower?
I'm in and out in like 5-10 minutes in the
Put
shower.
mine on the side ledge.
Yeah, that's what I do. But like,
Well,
is it in the shower?
If you knocked it,
I put mine on the back wall, so if it falls, it goes right into the
I
shower.
don't put it in the shower. I put it on the outside of the curtain.
But how can you watch it?
I don't watch. I just listen.
No.
That's the equivalent. That's like the only time I really like podcasts, honestly, is when I don't want to listen to music.
No, I watch
Get
it.
to the fucking punchline. Where is...
No, and then the third thing is a story. I was just rattling off some things. The third thing is a story. In 6th grade, I had a girlfriend, and I was really, 6th grade crush, whatever. And I'm still, to this day, wondering if I was lied to or not, and it really bothers me. Because, every time I see her pop up on social media, I was like, was she lying to me? Like, I don't know. Like, I bought her a necklace for a middle school dance, and I was really excited about the necklace, and the necklace even had like a little flower in it. It was like a really cool thing, and she was really excited about it. We slow danced after I gave it to her. It was all cute. She never wore the necklace again. Turns out the necklace made her break out in hives because of the flower that was inside of it. She had a massive allergic reaction. And I still don't know if she was lying or not because she didn't want to wear it.
You could. Why didn't you just buy? Why couldn't you just be like everybody else and just buy a stupid little fucking like necklace, like a metal necklace?
I didn't buy it. I told my mom to buy it for me, so she went and bought it for me. So technically, that's why I really didn't care that much.
You're really committed to all these things, huh? You're
Yeah.
showing loads of commitment, to the necklace, to the screenwriting.
Well, do you think she was lying or not, or do you think it actually made her break out in hives?
It could have been the metal too. Like it could have been.
It was a little glass heart with a flower inside of it, like the smallest little flower.
I remember seeing the hives. I don't know if that's my memory has me wrong, but I remember seeing the hives.
Apparently, Barrera has seen it, but I don't believe him. I think he was in on it too. But anyways, yeah, that's gonna.
In
wrap
on
up.
what? You think there's a conspiracy
That
against
she
you?
never actually liked me and she didn't want to wear the necklace.
Why the fuck would telling you that she got hives from the necklace be the thing that...
Because that would explain why she could never wear it.
Were you dating her?
It was 6th grade. I don't know. I don't know what you would call it.
I was dating a girl in 6th grade.
Oh, yeah.
It was a rocky road, but...
It's good ice cream flavor.
Yeah, it is a great ice cream flavor.
Oh, that was my horrible stand-up set. Will, what do you got?
All right. So I've actually been waiting for a while to put this out there, and I don't know why I just thought of it yesterday. Well, actually, I do know why I thought of it yesterday. But so from the dawn of time, well, actually not from the dawn of time, but from the dawn of when I could read, comprehend basic physics, and understand how automobiles work, there's something that's violently annoyed me every time I see it. Bumper stickers. And now you might be wondering, Will, what does a bumper sticker have to do with physics and how an automobile operates? It doesn't. But let me tell you, it's not all bumper stickers that violently annoy me. It's one in particular. One massive, ugly, novelty bumper sticker that even tops the horrid stick figure decals that people slap on their cars.
Oh, chill on that. I like those.
Fuck those things. No one cares about your family. But what tops that is a big, stupid block of text on a white background that reads, "This car climbed Mount Washington." Because guess what? No fucking shit it did. It's a car. It has wheels, horsepower, safety features, and seats. It's 7 miles of paved road that takes less than 30 minutes to drive up it. That's like the equivalent of me walking to my mailbox every morning, getting my mail, and then slapping a big sticker on my head that says, "This guy walked to his mailbox and back."
This guy walked to his...
So just remember, if you ever visit Mount Washington, you drive up it and you're considering slapping that big, white, ugly participation medal on your car, just remember that my 50-year-old neighbor from Connecticut rode his bike up that road in 36 minutes.
No way.
And you don't see him walking around with a big white sticker on his ass.
See, he should, though. That's way cooler.
He can't walk around with a sticker on his ass. I mean,
It's metaphorical.
It's metaphorical.
You drove your car up a 7-mile road.
The car did the work, and then he's saying that the guy actually did the work.
That's what I'm saying. Did he actually do that? That's sick.
Yeah, he was like a world-class bike rider.
I got to tell you, you need to keep this rolling.
Yeah, you're on fire.
You figured it out.
I had another one. I'll save it for next week.
Save it for next week.
For anyone listening, if you have that in your car, go outside, burn the whole car. Get rid of it because I'll
commit
take
grand
it off.
arsenic or whatever it is.
Take an insurance claim.
Drives me up a fucking wall.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I can just picture Will just in his car just getting visibly angry, like, fuck you.
I was almost home last night, and there was a big SUV in front of me that had that sticker on it. And I was like, how dumb do you get? It's a car. You drive it. That's what it does.
Yeah.
No shit it made it up a road.
Yeah, okay, so for mine, I'm not going to go crazy because that was pretty good, Will. I'm really... That was funny as fuck. I'm not gonna lie. I think Colucci and I both need to step it up.
Yeah, big time.
If you're gonna keep rolling in with hot ones like that, that's literally like that. That is the embodiment of what our stand-up section should be. Is what you just did. So I appreciate it. You give you the win already. But what I will say is, I had a pretty funny, actually not funny. I had a very like bullshit interaction. I'm not sure when it happened. I'm not sure when the notion came out that when your parents and your family go away and you're alone, that everyone thinks that it's time to roll into the house. And I think, I'm not sure if I'm the only one because I'm curious. Like when you are in your own house and you're completely alone and everything's happening, I had this evolution of me being home where, and you guys know because you stayed for a night, which actually was bullshit. I want to state, Will and I felt like it was bullshit because the whole point of you assholes coming over was so that you kept me company in the night and we weren't completely alone. And you bailed out, Angus bailed out, and Nicky Shanks bailed out. And it was Will and I to fend off for ourselves.
You guys got it under control.
And Tiki.
Yeah, and Tiki, of course.
You have it under control.
So I want to just note that Colucci left Will and I to die, essentially. But yeah, so I started out the week, just normal. After night one, I found myself 72 pages deep on Amazon looking for an escape ladder for my balcony. So I bought that. And then day two. And then night two happened. Then it was day three. On day three, I found myself 182 pages deep, and I bought a whole entire internal security system for my house so that was completely motion tracking 24/7 in my home, so that anybody and anything that walked by, including the fly on the wall, I was notified about it, and I was given an image representation of the threat at hand.
Macaulay Culkin, dude.
Yep. So I had that, and then by the third night, I found myself ordering a door blockade from Amazon, which is like I've never even heard of before, but I almost found the problem coincidentally because I was looking for a way to basically create a roadblock for my door so that I could get out on my escape ladder that I had purchased night one. So
based off what you saw in the footage that you saw of the things you purchased day two.
Yeah, so by the end of it, I was walking around the house loaded with pepper spray, had video surveillance of every square footage of that house, motion tracking of every square footage of the house, with an alarm system actively tracking. And still, I almost pepper sprayed my maid when she walked in the house. So that's it. I fucking, I spent about $672.82 on security measures within 3 nights of being alone in my house, and nearly pepper sprayed the cleaner.
The nice maid.
Yeah.
I mean, it is bullshit. You told me what happened when she just kind of waltzed in. Like, that is, and it's also kind of on your mom for not telling you.
Day one, she fucking waltzed in. Like, day one, the door just like opened and I had pepper spray. I'm not kidding. Like, I was like this at the door and I was fucking prepared and I was on edge, you know, and she walked in and it's just like, what? Like, what? I'm here to clean. Like, and I'm like, this house is on fucking lockdown, lady. Don't you dare ever come in this house like that again. And I even had a crew of people come to rebuild my garage, I guess, at the same time I was there home alone, you know? Like, I just showed up. Like, I literally walked out of my garage door and I saw, here's like 4 dudes in my garage just tearing the walls apart. Like,
that sucks. All right, so that's going to wrap up the stand-up section. Josh, thank you very much for sharing your horror stories of being Macaulay Culkin. Will, great job on your jokes as well. And that's going to wrap up episode 39 of T-Box Talk. Thank you so much for listening. Tune in to episode 40. We are going to launch episode 40 with the introduction of all of the new products that are going to be landing within the next month or so. We're finally just going to detail them all out, kind of take the first half of the podcast to talk about that. It's going to be very exciting. So tune in for that. Follow us on social media at T-Box Talk Pod and at Omada Golf. Check out our YouTube channel. We're posting shorts daily from podcast clips and other fun stuff that we're doing. Check out a couple of the videos that we've done in the past. They're all great stuff. Hop on our email list to maybe get involved in some pre-sales if we do those. So thank you so much for listening and have a wonderful weekend.
See you.